It is 10:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, specifically Lawrenceville, for the time being, as we head our way to the office in Sandy Springs. Going to work, and wanted to record a video along the way, something that I don't really need to use the computer for. I wanted to talk about primarily two things. Something I'll call DeAndre Ayton, a basketball player that is on my beloved Los Angeles Lakers teams. Yes, I'm a Lakers fan. Sorry to tell you. I know that's very cliche, but growing up in Kansas City when I was a young lad around the year 2000, Kansas City did not have, and still does not have, a basketball team. And there was a young 22-year-old with a fro by the name of Kobe Bean Bryant, and I was captivated ever since they won and beat the Indiana Pacers that year in 2000. Anyway, let's start there. So I've been a Lakers fan. There's a guy on the team now, a center, by the name of DeAndre Ayton. He has been in the league, I don't know how long, but he's not a spring chicken. He's been in the league at least 6, maybe 7 years. Plays down low, which for those that don't know basketball, it doesn't matter. There's a life lesson in here that anyone can take value from, so stay with me. A center's job in basketball often consists of getting rebounds, doing some dirty work, of setting screens, doing like effort plays, things that don't look very glamorous. That said, some centers in the years past in history have been flashy, have been very good at post moves and making good offense and scoring a lot and kind of making their living that way. Now, DeAndre Ayton, about a month ago, was unhappy with his current role with the team. They were trying to box him in and have him do more of the dirty work side rather than let his offensive skills shine. And he made I don't know if it was a tweet, some comment on social media saying that, man, y'all have me out here like Clint Capella. Clint Capella is a postman who is arguably a great dirty work effort kind of center, not the glamorous kind, more of the kind of blue collar style of player. And that received a lot of backlash. People were criticizing DeAndre Ayton for saying that because it's like, bro, what have you done? Like, you haven't been a flashy all-star player that can warrant saying a comment like that about a guy who's arguably, Clint Capella, been more productive than you in the NBA. So he got a lot of heat from saying something like that because it felt out of place. It felt like, dude, you can't be saying that kind of shit. How can you say that, bro? You haven't done much to be considered an all-star, to think that you could be this offensive scoring juggernaut. Like, shit, start with the dirty work first and then see if you can expand into like an all-star role kind of thing. So obviously, the backlash he received, I'm sure he heard all of it, DeAndre Ayton. And then from there, I don't know when it was, but he was in an interview because, he was obviously asked about all this stuff. And in one interview, he said that, I've looked in the mirror and I realized that, basically that y'all are right. Like, what am I talking about? Why would I think that I'm better than who I am? And you know what? If the Lakers, the team I play for, my employer, essentially, because oftentimes athletes can forget that they are employed. That's their job. The Lakers is his company. And if they're asking you to perform that role, then by God, you should, do it. And so that's what he realized. It's like, bruh, I've had a come to Jesus moment, so to speak. And he's like, I'm going to do it. I've looked in the mirror. I'm going to own this new role, and let's see what happens. And sure enough, when he committed to playing this kind of blue-collar, just effort kind of basketball, not being flashy, humbling himself and taking his ego out of it and just doing what was asked of him, the Lakers are on a tear. We look damn good now. And to large part because DeAndre Ayton was no longer being selfish and just did what was asked of him. And what's even crazier is that not only the team's success, has gone up, like they're being more successful, winning more basketball games because of him embracing this less glamorous role. He's getting more points and rebounds. So he looks like a better player, and his perceived value across the league is higher. His stock has gone up. And it's just so interesting because he was trying to make his living doing something that maybe isn't asked of him by the team, or maybe it just happens to be that this is more of a style that's best for him wherever he goes. Now, where's the life lesson we can extract here? A lot of people, we all focus on being that kind of all-star, the glamorous life of a high status living, or of being perceived by others to be that person or that girl, or to just be perceived highly by those around you. And a lot of folks consider blue-collar jobs or a modest way of living or a modest approach of life to be not as worthy or high status or as valuable as someone who does have something glamorous. And that is just so far from the truth. And it's often, I think, because of social media and how society is constructed to always compete against one another, and we perceive that certain roles or places in life are better or higher than others. And I just don't think that's the case. And that is a false judgment or a false set of statuses that we put on one another. Because this man is thriving in a role that he previously perceived as being less than. And what's interesting is that this less than role that he has accepted and embraced fully is now allowing him to shine, and if anything, look now more than. I say this because I think a lot of us try to be something that we're not because we have an idea of what looks or we think is correct and what we should strive for, even though something else that we may perceive to be lower is actually more in line or authentic to who we are. Let me say that again because I think that was pretty good. We often think or perceive that we should be at a certain spot or a certain level. We should be doing a certain thing because we think that is what we should do because it's that higher status, and that maybe something else that seems of lower status in our minds, we don't want to do it, but it's actually more authentic to who we are. I didn't say that as good that second time, but I think you get the idea. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would like to share on that. I just thought that was a beautiful lesson. A beautiful lesson because society often has us all trying to reach the same kind of goals. High money, a lot of money, recognition, achievements, outward success is the measure by which we deem our self-worth. And it's tough because as human beings, we often look towards our society. We look at everyone around us as how to live our lives and how to kind of be the benchmark or metrics of what we deem to be successful or a good life. So I guess my point is that we all need to calibrate, take inventory of what we do, and maybe not look so much out of what's out, like what everyone else is doing, and not look at what we see on Instagram and TikTok as being measures of success, and because maybe we don't live that kind of life, that we are not successful. That is the fallacy that I'm trying to say. And if we have our own version of success, our own version of contentment with where we are, and that more often than not is based on authenticity. What makes us feel good? What is more in line with our life and what this body, what this person represents? Maybe you are a teacher, a construction worker, maybe something that doesn't make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. And there's a thing in the back of your mind like, yeah, I don't make a lot. And then you feel like, meh. Because that's what we're supposed to do, is make a lot of money. But then it goes back to what I often think about is how you view your own life is what makes you feel successful, which makes you feel rich. So I would say a better definition of success would be being authentic and true to yourself and what feels most aligned to who you are and what you believe in, forgetting what the overall society, the conditioned society, thinks is high status. Because the hell with that. A lot of people that reach the top are miserable because they're constantly climbing, striving, clawing their way to be the best. And that's a miserable, exhausting existence, in my opinion. The main thing is that you enjoy it, whatever it is that you do, and it feels aligned with you. And what's interesting in DeAndre Ayton's case is that when he gave up trying to be this flashy basketball player, did the dirty work, did a more blue-collar role, he's thriving. And if anything, his measurable value, if we want to put it like that, is perceived to be higher. And he now is saying that he enjoys his role. And he's now successful within this blue-collar role. Now, that's probably all I got for that. Now, the second part of this is something I thought of last night when I was like making dinner, something. Sometimes little thoughts, ideas come to me. And I thought it tied in kind of well to this DeAndre Ayton thing. And that is, we are all like musical instruments. And what do I mean by that? What we do in life is the music being played. The effort, our free will, what we decide to do. It's like, okay, I played the cello. I played the cello for, 7 or 8 years. I need to pick it back up. It was a lot of fun. Well, I played it through 5th grade to senior year. I was actually the president of orchestra in high school. Go Mountain View Bears. Anyway, when you play an instrument, when you're playing notes, that's kind of like what we do in life. You can decide what you want to play, and what we just said is like play what's true to you. So you decide, your free will, you play the music that you want to play, and then over time, what you decide to put your effort into, what kind of songs you want to play in your life, you can get better at. You can be more skillful. Now, it's like this other part of the analogy is like your body, this person that you are in, the person that you are for a little while, is the instrument itself. And we want to play true to our instrument. What music is best for this person? What things we best able to do in this life. Now, not everyone is going to be violin players. Not everyone can be the guitar. Someone needs to play the saxophone. We all have different kind of callings, skills, abilities, talents, whatever that may be. And we must honor this form by letting what the universe wants to play through this instrument that we have. And it's beautiful. The more we just play what we're meant to play and not worry about the other songs and music out there, the more beautifully expressive and authentic music of our lives we can create, just like DeAndre Ayton. He might have thought he was, I don't know, a piano. I mean, this is a kind of a labored analogy, but maybe he was more in tune to something else, or just a different type of music. Maybe the same instrument, different type of music, and finding what he likes to play. Now, another important piece to this is that oftentimes in our lives, while we're putting forth this effort, while we're putting forth using our free will to do whatever we want in life, we often try to do more, to be as best as we can, to get as skilled as we can, to become this. We have this idea of like, I need to be great. I need to get there. I'm here, but I want to get there. And this is why I think it's so accurate to say that our body, our brain and body, this person, this guy that you're looking at, who you are in the physical world, this is an instrument. The instrument can't be more, it can't evolve into something else. You can't grow past being the instrument. Like a lot of people think like, if I just keep striving and get better, then I'll be even greater. I'll be more. But you're always just this person. While the music, while the contributions and the things that you do can be more beautiful and complex, the ego, the sense of self, this person can never be more valuable as far as a human life than it is right now. Like I said, the things you do, the more skilled you get at whatever thing you want that's true to you, you can get better at that. You can hone your craft. But it's never going to make you more than what you already are. You're still that same cello, is what I'm trying to say. And that's important because for me, I'm a very go-getter kind of fella. Like I always am trying to achieve goals, do things better, and I admit I forget that my self-worth and my value as a human being will never be greater than it is in this moment. Now, sure, I can get better at playing different music. The songs can get better. My melodies and the different harmonies and the things I want to create through my effort and time I have on this planet can become more beautiful. And maybe even the results, if I am aligned with my authenticity of who I am, can be shared with others. But just like with music, it's played in silence. In the same way that a painting is first on a white canvas, the music, the results of what we played, come out of silence or stillness. So even the results, the things we do, people can hear it, it can make them feel a certain way. But there will come a time when your efforts, your playing of this instrument will end. And it'll go back to silence. So not only can you not be more than your instrument, what you play, the songs of your life, will end. It's not going to be here forever. And you can have a beautiful piece. You can play something terrific and it feels amazing to you, but there will be a last note, and there may be an echo of your contributions that ripple out through sound waves of life and that affect, and people hear it and they feel it in their bodies. And then eventual silence. And then those feelings from others fall away because then they die. And then new life picks up the instrument. And then new songs are played. And those new songs inspire other artists, if you will. And that is the song of life, the game of life, the music of life. The point is, do things in your life that feel true to you. It doesn't have to be glamorous or what the conditioned society thinks is the right music to play. What feels right to you? Because when you do that and you honor that self, part of yourself, you are able to play the music you were always meant to play for a little while. That is until we put the instrument down, this form passes away, the contributions and the ripples of sound that people around us can hear may benefit, and that's why we do it, is for our music to be heard by others, to be shared, and to be enjoyed. But knowing that too will come to an end. And that makes it all the more reason to be authentic to you and not try to be any other version, because we inspire and make others feel their best when we are first true to ourselves and we're playing the music that we were meant to play. And that's when we can be our best, and that's when people can hear our best work and inspire them to do the same, and we create this ripple effect of beautiful sounds from everyone, and it echoes and reverberates throughout the earth. Now that I got a little woo-woo there, but that's what I was feeling in the moment. I was playing my instrument. I'm gonna hone it, craft it, keep working on it until I can't anymore. And I feel like this song for this video is coming to an end. So thank you all. See you all next time.